What's up, Met fans? Welcome back. Talking Mets here, Rob. How's everybody doing? Before I get started talking about the recent breaking news that the Mets are actively talking to Scott Boras and Kris Bryant, don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live, you know what to do, guys. Hit on that subscribe button. All right, guys. So, as of yesterday, there was a little bit of news saying that the Mets are going to be involved with Scott Boras and Kris Bryant about a potential contract negotiations, bringing Kris Bryant to the New York Mets. Well, that was confirmed today. According to Mike Puma of the New York Post, Mets expected to talk to Kris Bryant with Scott Boras at GM meetings. GM meetings started today. That has been confirmed by SNY and many other sports columnists across the country. That is true. That's a sign that maybe, let's pray, guys, that Sandy Alderson is finally realizing you have to be aggressive in free agency to get anything done. You've seen the lack of aggressiveness that Sandy Alderson did last year and how it cost them not only during the offseason with free agency, but also during the trade deadline. He waited too long, and it cost the Mets in the offseason, and it cost them during the trade deadline. I do like that the fact that the Mets are engaging Scott Boras and Kris Bryant right away, right at the GM meetings. Get the number, find out what's going on, what do they want, what are they looking for. There was a little bit of information about what is Kris Bryant looking for. A lot of people are interested in that. And what I have found is he is looking from a 5 to a 7-year deal worth between $190 and $250 million. Now, that's a wide range, but that's what the reports are saying, is between $190 and $250 between 5 and 7 years. I'm going to go on the ladder of thinking about he probably wants, and probably he's not going to take less than a 6-year deal. That's just me. And I think it's going to be at least $200 million. So, are the Mets willing to do that? I don't see why not, guys. I mean, it's not like we don't need a guy at this position. And why not an all-star in Kris Bryant, who's right in his prime? We talked about Seiya Suzuki yesterday. But with Kris Bryant, I've been saying this since I started my channel, guys. The New York Mets need to get this guy. They got to stop messing around, stop losing out on Kris Bryant, because he is a star. He will thrive in New York. There is no doubt about it. He was absolutely amazing with the Cubs. He went to San Francisco and made that team even better. Yes, they didn't get to the promised land and win the World Series, but he was a big part of the second half to need to win that division over the Dodgers. Kris Bryant is the guy that the Mets should focus on more than any other player. And I'm not including the free agents that the Mets need from their own team, like a Stroman and Syndergaard. All right, that's a different story. But a free agent that is outside the organization, they need to focus on a guy who can play multiple positions. That is way too valuable for any team. And I think he's worth the 6 or 7 years, worth $200 to $250 million. I think he is worth every penny, guys. He can play right field. He can play third base. He can play left field. You know what? He can even play shortstop if he need to. And you know what? He can play first base when you want to give Alonso a day off. He is so versatile for a superstar player to have that versatility. It's worth more than what he's asking for, guys. And there's no doubt about it. He can hit 280. He can hit 290. He can hit 30-plus home runs, knocking 85 to 100 RBIs every year. I just don't understand why it took Alderson to realize that being aggressive, especially with a player like Kris Bryant or any free agent or any trade, that's what you have to do. Especially nowadays when teams are actually more aggressive in free agency as of late. And Alderson just been behind the 8 ball over the last couple of years, and it's just not exactly how you have to run things. Now that Sandy Alderson is the guy once again running things, he has to be more aggressive. And I'm very happy to hear that they're in talks with Boris at the GM meetings about Kris Bryant. That is music to my ears, Met fans. There's no doubt about it. Kris Bryant needs to be a Met. I've been saying it for a long time. If the Mets start off by getting Kris Bryant as one of the major acquisitions this year, this team's going to be a hell of a lot better, guys. And it seems like Noah Syndergaard is going to take the qualifying offer. That's one extra pitcher in this rotation. He looked healthy in the 2 games that he pitched at the end of the year. We'll see what happens with Stroman. But I do think one piece of the puzzle is Kris Bryant, guys. And if you want another outfielder like a Castellanos, we can go after him too, because we can put Kris Bryant to fill in right in at third base. He will fit perfectly with this team. He is a guy that it seems like everybody on the team likes with the Cubs and the Giants. There was not a bad word said about him. And he's productive. There's nothing more that I can say about Kris Bryant, guys. And you know what? Thinking that looking like we're going to bring back Baez as well with, the whole Lindor thing. Bringing back Baez and Kris Bryant, who were good friends in Chicago. Why not do that? You want to talk about making the chemistry better? I think there's no doubt about it. Having Kris Bryant, Baez, Lindor, and Alonso as your infield, now that's a team I'm excited about, guys. And then you got to worry about the pitching. I understand that. But I do think, like I was saying before, the Mets will spend money in this offseason, guys. There's no doubt about it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Cohen, lack of GM and lack of president of baseball operations, search and candidates and losing out on everybody doesn't piss him off more to make him one of the main focus with player acquisitions. And I think that's what's going to happen this year. I think Cohen made it known to Sandy Alderson, because this is not Sandy Alderson's MO. It's not. Not at all. When do you hear Sandy Alderson being one of the first executives to start talking to agents about free agent players, unless they're your own? You don't hear that as much, especially with the Mets, especially with Alderson. So it seems like Alderson is turning over the new leaf here and is going to be that aggressive guy that we've been trying to talk about and that he needs to be. And it's a great sign. I mean, it might not go anywhere, but it's really, really intriguing. And I'm very excited to see that Alderson is finally being aggressive, because this is what the Mets need. The Mets need to be aggressive in free agency and aggressive with trades. If they do that, they can get anybody they want, because they do have the money to get whoever they want. And that's what the Mets and Sandy Alderson have to do. So, guys, Mets active in Kris Bryant talks at the GM meetings. This is the first Mets hot stove video for you guys. This will be every other day, or when there's breaking news, guys. We'll be going live at certain times of the week, especially during the off season. All Mets hot stove right here at Talkin Mets and Rob, guys. Kris Bryant, Alderson, Boris, actively talking at the GM meetings. Let's see if something comes out of this. We will probably get a number that floats out there that is more legitimate than what I've said about between 190 and 250 is the range that is rumored about. But there's going to be some numbers leaked out that's really more legitimate than what I gave you, especially after GM meetings. So let's see if that happens, guys. Once again, guys, don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos, and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, guys. Mets hot stove, baby. It's the Mets off season. Let's see if Sandy Alderson finally becomes aggressive and get the guys that we need, because we have the money to do so. That's a new thing, and that's what I like, guys. Aggressiveness by Sandy Alderson. Met fans, it's always a pleasure, and as always, let's go Mets.